Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Vallen, and this is Witchery Brews, Level 4, Page 2. Today we're going to be covering some more interesting brews. Yes, indeed. You have your choice here on the screen of what you can choose and sort through, jump to it, if your annotations are turned on. If not, well, just hang around a little bit longer and we'll get straight to them one at a time. Alright, you'll notice I have a little croaker here, little froggy buddy. He is here to help us out. That's right. He's actually kind of a little bit of a helper for what we're going to be covering, which is the first one, brew bottling. Now, brew bottling increases the number of bottles of brew a skilled witch may make. Now, that word there, it's in italics. Skilled witch may make. So if I make a brew and I am done with it and I bottle it and I get more than one brew out of that, like I got a little notification on the side here that says you feel more skilled at brewing, perhaps less brew will be wasted from now on. If you get a notification like that, that means that you can start making this brew of brew bottling, which will increase the number of brews. Oh, hello, Tabitha. The number of brews that you get while under its effects. If you make this brew of bottling beforehand and use it, it's not going to function. So you're definitely going to want to be aware of that when you start making this brew, if you make this brew. It is requiring a drop of luck, which is not an easy thing to come by. But more power gets you more brews. I was experiencing anywhere from 1 to 5 extra brews depending on the power level, 5 being high, 1 being low. But hey, you know what? You just lengthen it. You can make it last. I recommend turning it into a drinking potion, which I think it's like a splash potion. It's 3 minutes. Drinking potion is like 6 minutes if you just use some of the more mundane stuff. But hey, I mean, 6 minutes, and you can therefore make more brew bottling potions, as well as use the remaining time to make a whole bunch of other brews. So you can up your skill level considerably. Make sure that you get as many brews as possible out of there so that you can not waste ingredients. Next up we have Insanity. Now, this one here, the power level, more power on it, makes you more crazy. More area of effect just increases the splash area. It doesn't really increase much else. But you'll need a fermented spider eye and a drop of luck. And this, I found very, very small difference between lower levels and higher levels. I think probably just going with like a middle high, like a glowstone or glowstone and blaze rod is probably a sufficient power level to get the effects to work properly with this. And essentially, when these are used, I think this one's low level, this one's high level. If I use the low level, which, how long does this last? 3 minutes? I'm just going to use the high level one here so you can see what happens. You toss it in the air, and if you are familiar with how often if you're using your cauldron or your kettle or something, you may get some special effects on you where it says turnip tonsured, cheese flavored, hairy legged, captain something, waffle inclined, whatever. You get all these weird effects. Now, you might not notice anything at first. You're like, well, what the heck? Cheese flavored? Come on, this is silly stuff. Well, it doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen nonetheless. You may see some strange, questionable creatures appear on your screen, or hear loud bangs in the background. There are a random number of things that could happen, from imaginary zombies, spiders, skeletons, and explosions, creepers, all sorts of strange and sometimes obnoxious, other times just spooky things happen. Like here's a zombie. He's just ignoring me at the moment, but, he's walking. I can walk through him, and I can actually affect him with the same thing here. Oh, and then more explosions. And the longer it goes on, the more effects you get from it. So I would recommend, if you want, you probably just mess around. Here we go. And this will actually wear off, and I still might see him. Yep, it's worn off, and he's still here. But that's just the remnants of it. he sticks around for a set time length at least. But I recommend you probably you could go for something inexpensive if you wanted for this. You know, the insanity is just kind of an interesting thing to go with. It's a little bit expensive for what it is, but if you want to make people a little bit more crazy, hey, have at it. So add a little bit more power, get a little bit more crazy. It's not a big difference though, so don't be expecting large differences. And here we have sinking. Now, sinking is a little bit weird. Personally, I think this one is really bleh. More power in it gets you no difference. Area of effect just increases the splash radius, and that's pretty much it. What happens with this, I'll grab one here. I'm just going to grab the low level one. And if I'm in the water, here, let me just actually jump over to the water area. And you'll see I am, I'm sinking slowly, right? Well, if I ascend, I am doing all right as well. Now, if I toss this up and hit myself with it, there we go. I am now sinking. So if I drop down and, I actually shot straight to the bottom as soon as I hit the water. Now, I can still ascend, but if I ascend all the way up and try and get out of the water while in the water, I will instantly sink to the bottom. But if I try and escape the water while I am at the edge of it, meaning I try and go onto land, then I should be able to. So you can still ascend in water, but when you drop down, you really drop down. So it will also affect people in midair, give them kind of a sinking effect as well, but not quite as much. It is designed to people not able to fly. Now currently I am in creative. Let me grab an angel ring and I will be right back. So you can see I have an angel ring, which allows me to fly as long as it's in my inventory. And I am under the sinking effect. I try double tapping to jump up, and I do kind of like just by holding the space bar, I will start slowly sliding down. It's kind of interesting how it does it. It will just give you a gliding effect instead, so you are not able to fly while under the effects of this. Now once it's worn off, I can now fly again. So it can be very, very useful for bringing enemies down to the ground, but not as many as you might think. I tried using this on ghasts, blazes, things like that. It doesn't really change their behavior much. Bats, no avail, but owls, it actually will slowly drag owls down because they have a normal flying pattern to it. So if you have any other critters that you're trying to ground, or players, this might be the potion for you. One last thing, sinking does use disturbed cotton, which is what I think is a little bit expensive, considering that you have to go into the dream world in order to get this sinking effect. And here we have overheating. This one here uses ember moss, which of course will set you alight if you walk across it. Well, the idea is with this, whether it be a high power or a low power, there's no difference. Splash, the area of effect on there just increases the splash radius, so nothing really fancy there. But once you have one of these things, and allow me to get to a hot zone. There are multiple zones that may be considered hot, one of which would be a desert, which, let me look up here, just around here. Another one would be the nether, which is over there. And by catching a critter on fire, for example, I have a creeper here, and I toss one of these splash brews of overheating on him. He is now affected by it, and will slowly, over time, while in this hot biome, catch on fire. But just for like a few seconds here and there. It's not like he's going to stay on fire all the time. And it doesn't last for that long. I mean, especially if you put it in a brew of some sort that splashes. So it can be useful as kind of a pranky thing. I'm not really sure. I mean, it's not really going to kill somebody unless they can't get to a water source or something like that. Perhaps, cancel the spell out. But hey, I mean, currently it's a spell that will sometimes set people on fire. This one is rather dangerous at times. Nightmare. This one here uses mellifluous hunger. mellifluous hunger, excuse me. Very difficult mouthful of a word to say. But with this, a smaller amount will create a smaller nightmare, or less nightmares with a weaker effect, and a larger one will create many, many more. I have splash potions here, and they last for a bit, and basically you want to affect an entity. For instance, I will use this lesser one on myself, and I am splashed with it, so I have Waking Nightmare here. Actually, let me step away from there. I had a sound reduction block. And this has a possibility of spawning in a nightmare from the spirit world, but one that will not teleport. He just runs around and will follow the entity that is affected by this. And or just the nearest player in this case. Usually they ignore like villagers or cows or anything of that nature. They will pursue players though, and they'll just hover around other entities. There's one here, and he's still going to try and get me, and I am going to fly above him so that he can't hit me. And I am currently using a sharpness 10 diamond sword on him, so you can see you can't hit him while he's transparent, but then once you get him down there you go. And these guys will not drop any items. They only drop the experience from killing the mob. Now, it's possible while you have Waking Nightmare on you that you might spawn more, so be aware of that. And last but not least, we have Frog's Leg. This one here, while made from a toe of frog, is it's kind of interesting. For those that have played like platformers or old school video games, that's kind of what this one really does. So, to give an example, here I will clear out a few items off of my bar here, grab a bucket of milk, and the first one here is a simple splash of Frog's Leg. Toss it up, splash myself, and while under this effect, which lasts for 3 minutes here, so let's back out so you can see this here for yourself. Jump, jump again, jump, jump again. So you get a double jump off of this, which is kind of cool. From the low level spell, you only get that one. So allow me to grab this and see if I can effectively hit myself. Oh, actually, let me drink my milk first. That makes the potion effect go away. All right, let me use the Frog Leg 4 version. And you can see that I can jump multiple times in the air. So effectively, here I will go back to first person view and jump, 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 jump. So you can get lots of jumps in the air, getting you quite a distance as well, though you still will take fall damage. So here we go with Valens Brews. We have the Valens Brew of Dark Secrets and Valens Brew of Unending Secrets. Use these at your own risk. Valens Brew of Dark Secrets is going to cast blindness, as well as put person under the Waking Nightmare effect. Valens Brew of Unending Secrets is meant to be tossed into a crowd of creatures. It's going to give you blindness, as well as create a giant gas cloud that will constantly cast the a Waking Nightmare effect on all creatures nearby. Now the thing is, those nightmares will only pursue players, so this is more PvP. Now, in order to make these, it's a rather simple setup this time. It's not too much, but you've got Netherwort, Tear of the Goddess, Diamond Vapor, and a diamond. That gets you all of your capacity for what you need, 2, 4, 6, 8 total. And each one of these is a 4th level spell. So, we then have Glowstone, Blaze Rod, Redstone, and Obsidian to give level 2 of power and level 2 of duration bonus. And this is Mellifluous Hunger. Then you repeat that again and add an ink sac. Then you add Wood Ash and Cocoa Beans to expand the area of delivery, so that you can be sure to have a nice wide area that it affects in case your accuracy is poor. Then you can choose whether you want to go with the Dark Secrets brew, which is going to be either gunpowder or a water artichoke globe. Should get you a splash brew for a one-time effect that will last, several. I'm not really sure how long here. Hold on. Should last for about, there you go, Waking Nightmare, 4.5 minutes for that, and they'll be blind for the first 22 seconds. Or you can go for my preferred method of extreme danger. Remember, this is dangerous stuff here. Belladonna plus lapis lazuli and wool of bat. With that, you'll get a gas brew. Brew of Unending Secrets. And this will get you gas 3, which is going to linger around for a while. Waking Nightmare 3 and Ink 3, which, to give an example, what you want to do is hit an area. So if you are actually using this to attack somebody or in a PvP manner or to prank someone even, just keep in mind you want to hit as many entities as possible, like cows, for instance, if they're out on their farm or something. You toss out this brew, and it's going to cast the effect. They're all going to be under it. And suddenly all the cows are going to start having nightmares. Every single one of them. Multiple times. And over time, you will see more and more nightmares appearing from these little beasties over time. And they will start spreading and walking around. And remember, they aren't going to attack any of those guys. They're going to attack you. For example, there we go. Some of them will disappear. Others may attack. More or less, you're going to be one to kind of worry at times. If you hit these guys when they first come out, you might be able to do that, but it could cause a prank on somebody. Otherwise, they may just disappear, as you see here. So there you go, folks. I hope you liked today's page of the Witchery Brews. I look forward to doing more with you over time, and if you liked it, please make sure to give a like, subscribe, or spread the mischief to others. And we have a Discord chat. If you are interested in... Oh, there's a witch behind me. Hello. If you're interested in joining us, checking out the schedule, or just hanging out with some other people who enjoy the content as well. And until next time, folks, I'll see ya.